Forget everything Hollywood taught you about pirates. No fancy hats, no charming one-liners, no treasure maps with an X. Real pirate life was disease, starvation, and a brutal countdown to an early death. So how did anyone actually survive it? Life at sea started with the ship itself. A wooden box constantly trying to kill you. Storms could snap masts and drown entire crews in minutes. Below deck, the air was thick with the smell of unwashed bodies, rotting food, and bilge water, the filthy water that collected at the bottom of the ship and never fully drained. Food was one of the biggest threats, and it had nothing to do with running out. Ships carried salted meat and hardtack, a rock-hard biscuit that could survive months at sea specifically because nothing alive could survive inside it. Except something did. Weevils, tiny beetles, infested the biscuits constantly. Sailors would tap their hardtack against the table before eating, just to knock the bugs out. Eating a few anyway was simply part of the job. Then there was scurvy, the disease that quietly killed more sailors than cannon fire, storms, and combat combined. Without fresh fruits or vegetables, sailors' bodies ran out of vitamin C. Teeth fell out. Old wounds reopened, gums rotted. Nobody understood why. Some blamed bad air, others blamed laziness. The actual cause wouldn't be discovered for centuries. Fresh water was another constant battle. Barrels of water stored for months grew slimy, grew algae, and often needed to be strained through cloth just to remove the worst of it before drinking. Some crews mixed water with alcohol specifically because the alcohol content helped kill off some of the bacteria, which is part of why sailors drank so much rum. It wasn't just for fun, it was safer than the water. Disease spread easily in these cramped, filthy conditions. Dysentery, typhoid, and other infections tore through crews packed shoulder to shoulder below deck. A pirate ship with 50 men might lose 10 or more to disease alone during a single long voyage, before a single battle was ever fought. Injuries were common and treatment was brutal. There were no antibiotics, no proper surgery. A wound that got infected often meant amputation, performed with a saw, some rope to bite down on, and maybe a shot of rum if you were lucky. Survival rates for amputations at sea were shockingly low, but doing nothing was often a guaranteed death sentence anyway. Sleep was never solid. Sailors worked in rotating shifts around the clock, meaning nobody ever got a full, uninterrupted night's rest for the entire voyage. Exhaustion became a permanent state of being, which only made accidents, sickness, and poor decision-making more common. So why did people become pirates at all, given all of this? The uncomfortable truth is that regular sailing life, on merchant or navy ships, was often just as brutal, with none of the potential reward. Pirate crews frequently offered better food, a share of stolen treasure, and even early forms of democracy. Many pirate ships voted on their captain and split plunder using agreed-upon rules. For someone facing starvation on land or abuse on a navy ship, piracy could genuinely look like the better option. Pirates also developed real survival knowledge over time. They learned which islands had fresh water, which had fruit that could prevent scurvy, and they raided other ships specifically for medical supplies and fresh food whenever possible. Some pirate crews even had surgeons on board, one of the most valuable and protected members of the entire crew. Death, though, was still constant and often unglamorous. Most pirates didn't die in dramatic sword fights. They died of disease, infection, drowning, or malnutrition. Slow, painful ends far from the battles depicted in movies. The average life expectancy after joining pirate life was shockingly short, often just a few years. And yet, despite all of this, people kept choosing that life. Because for many, the alternative, grinding poverty, abusive captains, or near certain starvation on land, was somehow worse than the sea's brutal odds. So the next time you picture a pirate as a swashbuckling hero, remember, the real version survived scurvy, rotting water, and disease just to have a chance at a better life than the one waiting for them on shore.